Okay, so our next topic is topic number 10, which is incident reporting. Okay, learning outcome. Demonstrate proper procedure for reporting cargo damages and pilferages, including damages to the ship and people during cargo operation, deck-related maintenance, and severe weather conditions. Okay, so number one in the list is, of course, the stevedore damage report. So the chief officer must prepare a stevedore damage report within 24 hours after a damage is done by a stevedore. The safety management procedure has instruction regarding this, and there is a company form that is filled up to be given to the stevedore's representative. So I will show you later now. So that's why you need to check, no, even if it is a bulk carrier, bulk cargo, after the discharging, you need to check for damages because we will make a report for that. No, be sure that there is no damage. But of course, in bulk carrier, that is less. The problem if you are going to carry scrap metal, surely, no, because I have experienced that in Turkey, and we carry the scrap metal. And then after discharging, we need emergency dry dock again because of too much damages, no, by the stevedores. Okay, stevedores sometimes mishandles discharging equipment such as cargo grabs, etc., and causes damages inside the cargo compartment and or in parts of the vessel outside the cargo hold. Sometimes even outside the cargo hold, no. Like for example, your hatch cover. Sometimes the grab will collide with that, causing dents. So that is already a damage. And then stevedore sometimes mishandles the cargo itself, such as containers, bags, etc., and causes damage or damages inside the cargo compartment and or in parts of the vessel outside the cargo hold. So another example here, which is not written, although anyway there is an etc. here, is the um, scrap metal. No? Sometimes the scrap metal is very large, and sometimes it will fall inside your cargo hold, causing damage. Sometimes it also falls in on your deck, and also it causes damage. That's why during discharging of that, we are going to protect our deck with, for example, pallets and a piece of wood, no, that can be that can guard your deck. Marine plywood, something like that. You can also put that. Okay, stevedore sometimes causes damage to the deck gears used in discharging, for example, colliding of the crane jibs. And this one also happened to us now because they use the two cranes in one cargo hold. And that is not correct, and that is not supposed to be. I was the chief mate there, no, but I did not agree for that. But they talked to the master, and he agreed, and he agreed for that job, which I told him that I do not agree. But if you like to agree, then um, it's up to you because he's the master. And then he agreed because he wants the discharging to be finished. And that is not the correct decision, no, for the master. Although there is a written, that is also good, but there is a written, I let them sign a written paper that in case of accident, they will be the one responsible. No, so only a small touching of the jib, crane jibs. No, it is actually a collision, but very smooth, very soft, only small damage. However, the large damage was in the motors. No, it was affected because of that collision. So they need to repair the jib and they need to repair the crane, the motors. And it took us a lot of time there, no? Siguro, probably we were in Anchorage for 1 month for that only, no? Okay, estimator damage report. The junior officers must report any damage seen or found to the chief officer so that he can inspect the damage and make the report. And then the estimator damage report is signed by the master and or his representative, which is the chief mate, and given to the estimator's foreman or representative. If they refuse to accept the report, then write refuse to sign and write details why they refuse to accept it. And of course, the charterer will not pay them. Then it will go to court. Then it will be a um, larger amount of money will be used by them. So that's why they will surely be responsible for that. Okay, the damage is repaired by the stevedores, or if it is a small job, then they can pay an agreed amount with the master, and then it is given to the engine department who will order the job to the fitter. Okay, stevedore damage report. Several copies of the stevedore damage report is prepared to be given to owners, charterers, stevedore company, agents or supercargo, and ship's file. So you need to prepare 6 because sometimes there is agents, sometimes there is also supercargo, no? Sometimes there is no supercargo, but the agent is always there. So if the supercargo is not present, you will prepare 5. But if the supercargo is there, you will prepare 6. Or you can prepare as many copies as you like, as long as the master will sign it. Okay, ship damaged by stevedores during the discharge. Ships can be and frequently are damaged during the discharging process. Damage occurs when the discharging grab or the bulldozer makes heavy contact with the ship's structure. And then damage can also be done by hydraulic hammers or grabs used to free residues from the sides of holes. Now, sometimes the cargo is stuck, especially the cement, no? Sometimes it is stuck on the corners. So you need sometimes a hydraulic hammer to free them. And of course that sometimes causes also damage.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, sir, the bulldozer in there was a slide you showed in the previous class. Is it permanently on the ship or it is on the at the shore?
This
The
is
one that
sure.
is used for trimming.
Yeah, this is your equipment, of course. We
Okay,
do
sir.
not use that on board, no. That is your equipment. That is the stevedore's equipment. Sometimes even the grab is your equipment. Now, if it is not present in your vessel, it means it is from the shore. Because not all vessels are fitted with or are equipped with the grabs, no? Only some. Okay, so if the damage is incorrectly repaired or the quality of the workmanship is poor, the damage may be made even worse. For example, the correct materials may not be used for the repair of high tensile steel. A ship which is damaged and badly repaired or which remains unrepaired is at greater risk than is an undamaged ship. But this sentence is very old, no? Because my reference is Bulk Carrier Practice, a very good book, but it was made in 1993. So this now is an incorrect sentence for today, no? So never mind this. Um, because if your cargo is damaged today, you cannot just repair it. You need to have you need to ask permission from the classification societies. So you must remember that now. Even your hatch cover. If it is only a piping in your deck, then you can do that. But if it is a part of your cargo hold, you cannot do that. You need to ask permission from the um, classification society. So high and increasing rates of corrosion of the side structure and athwartship, corrugated bulkheads. Um, High sulfur coal is corrosive, and this is particularly so when it is wet and warm. When the coal is loaded, wet, or when sweating occurs because the coal is warm and the seawater on the other side of the shell plating is cold, corrosion is encouraged. So here, the sea is cold because this is in Denmark. Actually, this bridge is in Denmark, and um, you know that it is cold because there are a lot of electric fan you can see on the sea. No, can you see? This is actually windmill. No, this is wind farm. If you can see my background, this is wind farm, and you can see a lot of that in northern Europe. So if the water outside is cold, and because your coal cargo is warm, then it will encourage corrosion in your cargo hold. No? Although it is not so much. Unlike carrying sulfur or salt. Okay, in these circumstances, the corrosion can be highly localized, affecting those portions of the frames and lower bracket connections that lie closest to the ship's side. Of course, also your coal cargo, sometimes it is not so full. No? Okay, outward ship bulkheads, which form the boundaries of ballast holds, are particularly exposed to corrosion from damp and salty atmosphere. In addition, all bulkheads, like the ship's side structure, suffer from corrosion caused by problem cargoes. This problem occurs particularly when hold coatings have broken down, leaving the steelwork unprotected, a situation found mainly in older ships, but even in new one, no? If there are scratches in your paint. Other commodities such as sulfur and salt, for example, may have a corrosive effect even greater than that of high sulfur coal. If you are going to carry sulfur, now the color is yellow, and salt, you know salt already. Of course, this will cause more corrosion in your vessel than any other cargo. And if there is a scratch in your paint, then it will enter there and it will start the corrosion from there. No? Usually, there is a stain of rust. And then ship damage by unintentional overloading or part of overloading of particular holds. There are a number of ways, some of them not widely known amongst ship's officers, in which particular holds or blocks of holes can be overloaded. Local overloading of this sort may cause cracking and buckling of structure in both the double bottom and deck areas. Buckling meaning there is a deformation in your plates or platings. because of this force, the overloading. No? An example quoted to illustrate this is cracking of the deck plating at the hatch corners and deformation and or buckling of plating between the hatchways. Local overloading can occur when bulk carriers are loaded in ways not foreseen by their classification society or shown in their loading manual. So sometimes it is not shown in your loading manual and it is not foreseen by the classification society. Not yet experienced. That is not yet experienced. First time, you will be the first time. So for many years, mariners have assumed that they can adapt any loading distribution unless the loading manual says plainly that they cannot. No, so sometimes there is a misunderstanding. No, because if you cannot see that it is not, you cannot see in the loading manual that it is not possible, then you think it is possible. But actually, it should be different. So here, unfortunately, the classification societies work on a different basis. They consider that no loading has been approved unless it is shown in the loading manual as having been approved. It means if it is not shown in the loading manual, because that is a loading manual, then do not do it because it is not approved. But if it is shown in the loading manual, it is already approved. It means it is tested for the stresses. This has led to misunderstandings and to the adoption by seafarers of unsafe cargo distribution. But if you are prudent, of course, you will follow the loading manual. No? But today, the experienced officers will follow only the experiences of others. Of course, you need to check also your loading manual, but also you need to check the experience of previous shipmates. If they successfully loaded that, then you can follow. Okay, neglect of minor damage to the side shell structure. Seemingly minor damage to the side shell structure usually caused by stevedores discharging operations or by berthing contact can become more severe, perhaps as a consequence of the ships working in a seaway and result in flooding of the hold. But this is applicable only to old ships. As you remember, no? Bulk carriers starting, if I'm not mistaken, 2004 are already required to be in double hull. No? So like what happened to our vessel, which is already double hull, even if there is a collision, then the water will only go inside your tanks, your water ballast tank, and not inside your cargo hold. So that is not also applicable for our vessels today. No? Okay, difficult in making close-up inspections. The difficulty of making close-up inspections of the higher shell and transverse bulkhead structures is now well known. Very often, the need for such inspections was not apparent because from a distance the structure could appear to be in a deceptively good condition whilst actually highly corroded. So that is the problem. But today, um, there is a thorough inspection regarding that. No? But during our time, when I was AB, we were carrying logs from Africa, and then we also made maintenance inside the cargo hold. No? And I noticed the structures there are very corroded, and some of them are not welded. It means it is anytime it can collapse, and that is very dangerous. And one thing is, our shipmate do not know that there is a danger of letting your crew inside the cargo hold because you are carrying logs, and it may deplete the oxygen. No? And I do not know also because I was only AB then. And anyway, nothing happened. But that was a very old vessel, and that is the vessel that the oldest vessel I've been. No, that is the tow cargo hold that I was mentioning, that passes in Corinth Canal. No, that was 1972 model, and I boarded that in 1996. So it means already 24 years old that time. So that's very old. No, luckily it was bought by Lebanese. Okay, extreme weather conditions. It has been reported that high percentage of bulker losses occurred in heavy weather, though no definition of heavy weather is given. Ships should be built and maintained in a condition to survive heavy weather and should do so provided that they are not handled incompetently. A weakened ship will be at greater risk if she meets extreme weather conditions, but such conditions must be expected. Heavy weather may also cause cargo to move or shift inside the hold and the lashing to snap, causing the cargo to fall from its original place. So it happened to us because there is a sudden low pressure in near Mexico, no? In I forgot the name of that. That is very notorious. That part, no? There are sudden change of weather, no? Sudden low pressure, which sometimes becomes depressions. And it happened to us, and we have too much rolling because our cargo is heavy below. So it means it is very stable, but also it is uh, rolling too much. And we need to alter course, but the chief mate, he let that cadet did the taking of the wind direction, and the cadet, although he was very good, I am the one who supervised that cadet. Now, although he is under the chief mate, but he is always in my duty. And I know that he is very good, but he committed the calculation because probably he is already uh, he has already nausea because of the heavy rolling. And the chief mate also did not notice that the wind has already changed. So there is we must now alter our course. So what happens is we have heavy rolling and falling off the cargo. No, this steel steel products also, wire coils, no, and because they did not use their experience, no. So when I was only third mate then, when I went up, I noticed the radar. So this is you must remember this, no. I noticed the radar, the clutter in the radar. Remember this, the clutter in the radar where there is most. That is wind. That is the wind is coming from. So remember that the wind is coming from that direction, where the clutter is more. And I noticed that the wind has already changed, or even that is not. Of course, you need to calculate the wind. So I told the master that we can alter course because change. So I also made the calculation for the wind direction or the plotting. You can plot that one to make the true wind direction, and then yes, we can now alter the course. And that is the problem. If you are already veteran but you do not use your experience, you do not use your mind. I was the youngest actually among the officers. Okay, incident reporting contains the following: type of incident, injury, cargo damage, damage to the vessel, theft, and near miss. So near miss, actually, you will only report this to the company because near miss is near accident. So it could have been an accident, but it was not, or luckily, it did not happen. Actually, your not wearing of your helmet is considered as near miss. Why? If you are not going to wear your helmet, then if some tools will fall in your head, then that is an accident. So even if there is no accident, if you do not wear your helmet, that is considered as near miss in Japanese, no? In Japanese companies. Okay, next is name of vessel, flag, port or place of incident, date of incident, time of incident, name of affected individual, and then a narrative description of the incident, including the sequence of events and result of the incident. That's why you are here on in the school. You are making reflective essays. That is to prepare you also for narrative description of incident during incident reporting. Okay, for incident reporting, consult your safety management manual and procedure or your SMS, safety management system, regarding reporting of incident. There are also forms used in incident reporting. And then during damage caused by heavy weather, the master may write a note of protest. Note of protest is a declaration under oath by the captain of a ship when a damage to cargo or to the ship is caused by the perils of the sea. The purpose is to protect the charterers or owner of the ship from liability for the damage. So that time, of course, our captain made a note of protest because of our cargo falling from its stowage now. And when we are in port, when we reach the port, the master will go outside to find a lawyer, no, to notarize this paper. Okay, incident report provides detailed information about the incident.